David's Saturday AI Thoughts, Episode 10, 25th April 2026, Rise of the Auditors. This was the week the agent floodgates opened. Microsoft made Copilot agent mode the default across Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Google shipped agents to 3.45 billion Chrome users. The UAE committed to running half its government on agents within 2 years. OpenAI, Anthropic, and SpaceX all piled on. The announcements are loud about capability. On checking, they are silent. Nobody has said who does it. When nobody is named, 3 things happen at once. Senior staff end up checking at senior prices, work that sits 3 rungs below them. The AI builders who could be at the frontier get pulled off it to recheck their own output. And a lot of the checking falls to people who are diligent but don't do the careful work required. Checking a mountain of mostly right work is a special kind of task. Errors get through. Checking used to be embedded in doing. An hour of work included verification, tightly woven in. Now it is a separate task. Perhaps 5 minutes producing, 10 minutes checking. AJ Gore, a former CTO, wrote this month that when execution becomes free, verification becomes the expensive thing. Martin Fowler picked it up. Gore's formulation for software. 10 engineers becomes 3 engineers and 7 people defining acceptance criteria, designing test harnesses, monitoring outcomes. The same logic holds for knowledge work. An hour to build a research project end-to-end, scope through to deck. A day to audit it properly, multiply across a team, and the required roles shift massively. 3 gaps open up. Each one points to a role. Directors are drowning. The people who frame the problem and sign off the answer are now reviewing more drafts more quickly than they can judge properly. The frontier is a full-time job. The people doing the best AI work spend all day trying to keep up. Even the best will tell you they now can't. I can't, so most people cannot afford the time to be anywhere near the forefront, and it would be bad economics to ask them to. Senior and client-facing staff are worth more on judgment and relationships than on model selection. The frontier belongs to a specialist because specialization is cheaper than spreading frontier fluency thinly. The checking is broken. Senior staff burning expensive hours on verification. Builders pulled off the frontier to recheck their own work. Diligent-looking staff skimming mostly right output and missing the rare occasional error. Assurance has been treated as a side task. It is a craft. Picture 2 team shapes. On the left, everyone uses AI. Nobody specializes. On the right, 3 distinct roles, all using AI, but one specializing. One shape that isn't working, one that does. 3 roles fall out. The director frames the problem, decides what good looks like, owns the outcome. Uses AI every day and gets real value from it. Not an expert in the tools, and shouldn't try to be. The frontier moves too fast for someone whose calendar is full of relationships and decisions. Their job is taste and judgment, not keeping up. The AI builder is the specialist, lives in AI all day, tries the new models and apps and features as they launch, runs many sessions in parallel, helps many people, ships at pace. The one seat where staying at the frontier is the job, defined by appetite, not rank, could equally be a mid-career specialist or a sharp new hire who has fallen in love with the tools. The auditor is a different breed. Traces citations to source, runs key numbers independently, stress tests arguments cold in a second model, replaces weak sources, swaps assumptions, reruns with corrected inputs, refines paragraphs that are nearly right. Auditing and fixing, not just checking. Uses AI every day and uses it well. The skill is judgment and accountability, not model selection. Usually an experienced generalist with a nose for nonsense. Not necessarily someone who has done the underlying work themselves, though. Picture it. An auditor reads an AI builder's draft financial model. She traces 10 citations to source, 9 checkout. One is from a less credible source, so she finds a stronger one and swaps it in. She reruns the affected calculation, updates the report's content, signs off or doesn't. Start with the AI builder because the builder is the scarce seat. Staying at the frontier is a full-time job, and an organization can only afford so many full-time jobs spent there. Each director needs roughly a fifth of a builder's time to keep their decisions well supplied with AI output. Each builder ships 5 substantial things a day, and each takes a day to audit and refine properly. So each builder needs 5 auditors to keep their output shippable. At scale, that's 5 directors, 1 builder, 5 auditors. 11 people. Most organizations have 0 auditors. I built a quick interactive version on my website. Try your own assumptions. I have been living the shortfall. A research project I did has been in my queue for 11 days waiting for me to review it. A financial model I cannot send until I check every number. A client deck that's been almost ready for a week. Every piece built cleanly. All mostly right. Much of it ready to ship. None of it has because the audit queue is longer than the build queue. Weekends have become my quiet, focused audit time. Every senior AI user I know has hit the same wall. Software engineering has started reorganizing around 3 roles with the weight on auditing. Knowledge work has not done the thinking here yet. The organizations that do it first will have the only AI native teams that ship fast and ship right. The rest will ship and regret it. Here are 3 things worth knowing this week. Number 1. Fewer than 10% of organizations have scaled AI agents beyond pilots. McKinsey data names the bottleneck. Organizations won't hand over control. Agents require delegated decision rights that most companies withhold, pre-agreed accountability frameworks that don't exist, and cross-functional governance that nobody has built. Pilots succeed in contained environments and stall the moment agents intersect real workflows where incentives and reporting lines conflict. Matches my experience of most organizations. It takes hard, careful work to resolve these issues. Those that have done the work are getting the benefits. Number 2. GitHub paused new Copilot signups. The flat rate model broke. GitHub paused new signups for Copilot's agentic plan after coding agents blew through the flat rate compute allocation. Uber's CTO told journalists that AI coding tools have already consumed the company's entire 2026 AI budget. Goldman Sachs reports AI inference costs in engineering now approaching 10% of headcount cost, on a trajectory towards parity with salaries within several quarters. The pattern? Evangelism, budget shock, rationalization. The smart response isn't to slow down, it's to make sure the work being done is valuable and to match the right model to the right task. Is flat rate AI pricing over? Number 3, 29% of employees admit to sabotaging AI initiatives. Reuters' annual enterprise survey shows every organizational health metric worsened in 2026. Sabotage means what it sounds like: reverting to pre-AI workflows, deliberately not using assigned tools, discouraging colleagues from adopting, withholding inputs that would make AI systems work. AI is tearing my company apart rose from 42 to 54% of C-suite respondents. Employee confidence in their company's AI strategy dropped from 47 to 31%. Most C-suites concede their strategy is more for show. The clearest counter-narrative yet to the adoption is accelerating consensus.
3 things to try. Ask, is this the simplest version, before accepting AI output. Language models have no incentive to simplify. Work is free to them. Brian Cantrill calls it the loss of laziness, the human impulse to find the crisp abstraction rather than add another layer. When AI drafts something, check whether it found the simplest solution or the first solution. A 3-step process wrapped in 7 steps of hedging is worse than the 3 steps alone. The scarce resource now isn't production, it's restraint, audit cold. When checking AI output, open a new chat with a different model. Upload the source materials and nothing else. Don't verify inside the same conversation that generated the work. That conversation will defend its own output. I've tested this repeatedly over the last month. The same model that produced a confident answer will find the errors when it reads the sources fresh, without its own prior reasoning in the context window. Sullivan and Cromwell filed hallucinated citations in a multi-billion-dollar bankruptcy case. This would have stopped it. Save 1 reusable AI workflow this week. Google shipped skills in Chrome this week. Saved 1-click AI prompt workflows that run on whatever page you're viewing. Pick a task you do weekly. Summarizing a website, extracting action items from meeting notes, comparing options across open tabs. Save it as a named skill. Whether you use Chrome, Claude, or something else, the principle is the same. If you've done it 3 times, encode it. Each saved workflow compounds. Each unsaved one gets reinvented from scratch.
What readers said. Last week's The Proxy Break drew the strongest response yet. The essay about writing, identity, and AI polish hit something personal. One reader described growing up treating correct English as a form of belonging, only to find AI stirring up the same anxieties about fitting in. They'd caught themselves search and replacing M-dashes from their own writing to avoid being accused of using AI. Another faced a real dilemma. A respected consultant sent a clearly AI-generated proposal, and they couldn't work out how to say so. A professor offered the sharpest reframe: craft versus mass production. Temu at one end, Huntsman at the other. We probably need both, they said, but we need to proceed with care. A lighter week on LinkedIn from the community, but several posts cut to the heart of the essay. John Gleason, who runs a customer success community and investment fund, met Mark Benioff this week and came away with one message. The unit of value in software is shifting from access to outcomes. Service as software, not software as service. Nick Graham, founder of Vertimus, a research and analytics consultancy, frames the same shift for insights teams. Stop shipping decks, start shipping decisions. And Dylan Jones, co-founder of Bold Square, a communications and marketing advisory, notes that Zuckerberg is building an AI agent to help him be CEO. But the real story is the internal culture of employees sharing tools they've built. Your job as a leadership team is mostly not to get in the way.
That's it for David's Saturday AI Thoughts this week. This is a faithful reading of the email edition. The full written version with all the links and sources, plus 11 bits that didn't fit, full reader letters, and community reactions is at stedman.ai. Thanks for listening.